Good morning. In the morning. Early morning. Friday. Yo. December 9th. Let's do this. Let's go. It's your boy Jersey J in the building. T-Bone in the building. Let's do it. Let's go. Turn it up. Woo. Get right. Let's go. Let's go. Good morning, y'all. Welcome to the show, Friday, December 9th. Woo, we made it through the week, man. It's been a tough battle. Yo, shout out to everybody who survived their storm and their battles through the week. What's going on, T?
We making the moves.
Come on, man. Let's get up, man. Let's get up in the morning and do what we got to do. You know, Friday, thank God, it's famous Fridays, fresh Fridays, man. And, you know, we talking about sticking to what you believe in and not compromising your integrity, man. How do you feel about that, man?
I feel that's very important. Keeping your energy right, keeping yourself on the right path, and do not give up what you believe in. I feel like continue moving forward regardless of what's going on, and regardless of what the situation may seems to be and what it seems to look like. Because at the end of the day, it's always a storm before the sun's come out, right? It's always the rain before it's the sun that's breaking down. So I feel like everybody's going through a situation that's constantly even coming through ins and outs and stuff like that we all can make it through regardless of what it seems like. So for y'all, continue fighting and move forward. Don't let nobody stop your dream. Don't let nobody stop who you are. Don't let nobody kill your integrity, because this is what it is.
Yo, listen, man. I mean, like we talk about that, right? So we had the media training this week for John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, it was fire. Shout out to them.
You know, shout out to the kids that came and supported the whole movement with IMU, right? And the reason why we started this again is because, you know, dropping out of college was not a good feeling, and getting back into school and getting people back in school that might be a little older but they didn't finish their college degrees was what I thought would be a great way to start a podcast and start a movement on completion.
That's fine. It worked.
And then bring you along for the journey, knowing that we had a common goal was the reason why we did this, you know. And you know, let's go back to the news today. And I heard some disturbing stuff, and you know, my favorite topic to hear you rant about is Donald Trump, right? So listen to this, right? So, WNBA star Brittany Griner arrived back in the United States early Friday afternoon, freed in Russian custody, right? Griner could be seen climbing down steps around 6 a.m. in the morning yesterday. But, you know, what they talked about was Special President Envoy for Hostage Affairs, Roger Carstens, Greer, 32 years old, two-time Olympian medalist. The center for Phoenix Mercury was freed on Thursday, but the senior administration official says she was flown to San Antonio for medical to the medical facility. And the U.S. freed Victor Bout, arms dealer known as the Merchant of Death, who served 25 years in prison, sentence handed down by a judge in 2012. Now, the crazy part about this story is like, if you know who this gentleman is and you do the research about the gentleman, everybody that was on social media, I'm talking about like Candace Owens and even Donald Trump, said that was a terrible trade. And I was like, wow.
That's crazy. He would even say something like that.
They both said that was a terrible trade. And now someone that's in jail for possession of vape cartridges of cannabis oil should not be in prison for 9 years. That's just that's why she was in prison.
Oh my goodness. That's the stupidest thing.
You know, but the rules are the rules in different countries. I know that, you know, drugs is penalized, and that's not a drug, honestly. And this is the reason why I think that a lot of people out here are really misconstrued Because if this person wasn't famous, would they be swapping a prisoner in Russia for um, a celebrity?
No, I
That,
doubt that. I doubt that. Actually,
do you
I doubt
doubt?
that. I
Do you
kind of.
doubt that Biden would go and get um, a regular civilian?
I'm saying in his situation, I mean, like in his situation, he don't even care if there's a regular civilian or not. They felt like that she was wrongly charged for what the situation was, and it wasn't a big deal on her case of what happened to her. Like, 'cause she was only locked up for cannabis, like cannabis oil. Like, okay, then how you gonna lock somebody up for 9 years with some small amount of cannabis oil? Like nobody haven't been locked up for cannabis at all. Like, but that makes no sense. You have her serve 9 years and take her all the way out the NBA, at WNBA, so she can't be able to play ball no more for 9 years. That makes no sense. That doesn't.
I
solve
mean,
anything.
look, I mean it like this, right? I think that most of us don't understand how important it is to be focused on what you're doing, right? And this is why I said sticking to what you believe in, right? You believe in. I believe in liberty and justice for everybody.
Of course.
And when justice isn't served, and even our black communities, or we feel disproportionately targeted for being black,
Mhm.
uh, for going through systemic racism, for things that we can't control as black men. I feel the rage.
Yeah, of course.
How could we not be enraged when we see things that could be changed in our own country, and it's not being changed? But I think that there is more. We can't rely on hope anymore.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I think that's why things like this always happen, because we're not aware of the penalties that things happen this easily, knowing that like when everything happens crazy when your guard is down. You ever notice that?
Yeah, that's the crazy part about it.
Like you think I don't really like think that things are sweet, but I think that you know we are not prepared for what the world has to offer sometimes when tragedy strikes like this. Certain things that we paying attention to in the world are like right social media and sports athletes and the way things are going around in our communities. Who's even our president?
Yeah, that's true. That's most definitely true.
Like, I realized that drugs and alcohol and sexual inhibitions have taken precedence over our communities, even in our social medias where our children are seeing. How are we supposed to combat against this new generation's problems if the old problems are still here at the forefront?
Yeah,
We can't even stick together. And when you see some of these things, how do you work through them?
That type of time, like usually for the type of time that you give somebody 9 years, that usually get the type of time if you're doing hard, like if you're pushing hard drugs or something like that, like if you carry hard drugs and everything with you, like cannabis is something that should be actually, because it's been put out there to where like it's fully legal now, and now they have smoke shops, they have this, they have that, but it's like hard drugs. I'm talking about like heroin, marijuana. I'm not talking about heroin, like coke and stuff like that. That's where the hard drugs comes at.
Crack cocaine.
Crack
Yeah.
cocaine, like you get time and everything for that. Like I know a driver of mine, he went through that, and then he served 7 years. They didn't care about the cannabis, they cared about the crack and cocaine. They gave him 7 years and everything for that. And he came out, and then he did this and he did that, and now he's out here doing his little thing. But it's like certain things like that, you can't give people 9 years over no cannabis. You just doing that because the fact of it is you felt like, oh, she's an NBA player
Yep.
or WNBA player. But the fact of it is, it's like if people decided to do cannabis on their own time, and they want to do their own thing, don't fault them for that, because the fact of it is that it's like you're doing wrong. That's like you giving them 9 years for like that's the time that you give to like a person that shot at somebody, or a person that actually killed somebody.
Hey, listen, but the thing is, that's what we're working with.
Yeah.
Now let's listen to this story right here, right? And this is what we gonna talk about too: fraternizing in the workplace, right? So Adam Robich and T.J. Holmes were still going on strong, just not out in the public. Now ABC investigates their romance from Good Morning America, 3 anchors have not been spotted together publicly. 1 week ago, they signed off for the weekend because some believe they split, but they still together. That's what, allegedly that's what's going on with the sources, right? And they cheated on both of their mates. How do you feel like is that, that's in the news, right? Because, you cheating, you both married.
If you don't want your husband or if you don't want your wife, then y'all either get a separation or just get a divorce.
Look where you at. Yeah, look where you at. And the funny thing is that, we all know about relationships, right?
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
Now, if you out there cheating in public, do you really care about your relationship?
No, because if you did, then you would have more respect for your relationship. But as you being famous and all of that type of stuff, like having all these bloggers and all these cameras, of course you're thinking, hey, y'all gonna put out your relationship. That's why they have all of these journalists lists and stuff like that. Because like when you walk into stuff or you go into different places and stuff like that, as soon as you hop out the car, they can snap a picture of you. Oh, well, I see this person doing this, I see this person doing that. They're not even investigators. That's the crazy part about it is.
Right. It says the Human Resources Legal Department are digging deeper into all aspects of couples' relationships to ensure there were no violations of company policies of their individual contracts. It's been a full week since they were all last on air, as reported. President Kim Goodwin announced the decision on the editorial called Monday. Says the relationship had become both an internal and external distraction, right? So what do you think about relationships in a business? Should that happen or shouldn't that happen? You think it's a conflict of interest if you're dating somebody or you're married to somebody while you're working on your job?
I feel like it's how you're treated because it's a lot of situations like that where like a lot of people are married and they actually do work together and they actually do have business and everything together. So it's like I wouldn't feel like that's too much of a problem, but I feel like it's what you make out of it and it's what you do because it's like you can still have respect for your partner, you can still have respect for yourself. But it's like, when you do too much and then you show too much of what's going on in your actual household, you show exactly what's going on in your actual lifestyle. And you got to remember that you're actually being watched on every single moment. So I feel like, everything you do, you should always take steps and be careful for what you're doing because everybody's watching. People was always watching. Like social media, these cameras, they say when you're in and out of places, you never know if other people that you know is actually spilling the truth about what you're doing in your own time and stuff like that. So you got to be careful. It's in general, but it's like I feel like things could become complicated, especially if you and your partner's not on the same page. That's what I feel like, But
this is Pac-Man. So in sports, right? Pac-Man Jones questions Colin Kaepernick's charity work. I do think AB's right? So listen to this, right? It's a conversation about Colin Kaepernick and its community affairs because Pac-Man Jones says he sided with Antonio Brown on at least one thing from the White House. Colin Kaepernick tells TMZ he too has questions about Kaepernick's charity work. Speaks with at LAX a few days ago after Brown ripped Kaepernick and who actually watched Kaepernick throw last month. And then he had a situation interview where quarterback said he also isn't entirely sure Kaepernick has done what he has done for the community since settling that lawsuit in 2019 after for our community part. I think AB's right. So, this is what I want to talk about, right? Brothers putting down other brothers. If you're not going to implement, donate, support, why don't you go find out yourself? This is my point of view, right? You see somebody in social media, like right now, we wake up in the morning. The reason why we do this is not only trying to get kids back in college, adults back in college, do some media training, right? We looking to donate and support our causes too. We're not just somebody that's actively, participants of our own mission. We were the mission.
True. You're right about that.
So when you have people commenting on what somebody else is doing, that's some real girly talk.
Yeah, it's
really I don't care whether it's like the NFL, NBA, you could be. That's real corny to me. The reason why I'm saying that, you worried about what a man's pockets is looking like.
Mm-hmm.
When did that become a thing?
I felt like during this pandemic, it started to really become a thing with all of that. People watching people's pockets, people worrying about other people's relationships, people worrying about what people do in their lives. Like it's like, and it's too much because it's like, it's like the smallest thing really becomes a problem to the world. Like, and then you bring it out, and then you have all these people out here commenting and saying this and saying that. Like, come on, man, all of that stuff. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really regulate. As long as it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense, bro. Especially if you're not making your own dollars in your own way. Why are you worrying about what another man has if you have something already in your own pocket? Like all that jealousy stuff, I just don't solve anything. It doesn't help anything.
I really see a lot happening these days, and where people are just like commenting, and like broadcast journalism and commentating and all the things that I really feel like is important. I'm going into this field because I want to take it seriously as a profession, not to just be commenting on something, but just to talk about a theory or a case study or even a fact, to put my opinion, but put some facts behind it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of talking out of turn that's going on, and I think that's why journalism and communication is building like a forefront where there needs to be a wall. There's a fine line in between, fact and just somebody just talking out of their mouths. When did that become like popular? I don't know where that was that popular. I was just wondering because it's a lot of famous people being in the news for BS, like
stupidest things.
Yo,
man.
listen, I mean, look, honestly, like nobody wants to know how many children they can have.
Why is that important in your life?
Why is that? How is that to help me?
Hey, listen, if it ain't helping me get no dollars, then it don't make sense to me, man. Like I don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that I'm realizing that are in the news, right? Whether it be black or brown people. What are the policies right now? Do we know what rules that's about to be set on each state, township? Like I'm trying to figure out, right, on Friday and Fresh Fridays, why being famous is so important to the news. Can you think about that? Like that's a serious question. Like why? Like they choose certain things to be there. Why certain things end up being in the news if nobody's being murdered, killed, it's affecting somebody's life. So somebody, I think this thing is manufactured.
Yeah, I think so too. I think a lot of these things, it's just brought to the world just so it can mess up the people's opinions. Also mess up a lot of people that's out here mess up their mind frames, like mess up their ideas. It's like I said, and I agree with you. As long as somebody not dying, why is these things important? Why do you keep bringing it to the world? It's like, oh, this person having a baby. Okay, so what? Like, oh, this person cheating on their wife. Okay, so what?
Listen, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna tell you the difference, right? Listen to this, right? This is another case that's like crazy. Many security lapses led to escape of a Texas inmate accused of killing 5 while on the run, right? Gonzalez Lopez escaped from prison bus in May and was fatally shot 3 weeks later. Authorities say that while on the run, he killed a man and his 4 grandsons. Now that's news.
Now that's news. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. All the other stuff ain't irrelevant.
Right? Like what? Like I think that we starting to really get like this blended culture where certain things should never even be important, be talked about on TV, talked about as cool news, talked about as like when are we gonna take this platform seriously?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people don't even understand that. Like I listened to BBC yesterday all the way home. I didn't hear one cuss word. I didn't hear any derogatory behavior. It was so soothing listening to another culture's music.
Word.
That I'd rather listen to that every single day, knowing that I don't have to listen to the violence in the culture Is that a sign of me getting older? I'm not sure.
No,
But
it's
I
not.
just know that my ears are in tune to some healthy stuff.
Exactly.
And I want some of that on the radio.
I don't want to hear on every single verse that somebody is saying that, kill, kill, kill. Like I don't want to hear
Kill
that.
or this mother that, your
Yeah.
girl this, Tatiana that.
Oh,
These
yeah.
things right here are important to me. Like, when did words get so obsolete to what we trying to think about and do in the real world?
Exactly.
That's the point that I'm trying to say, because just us speaking, right?
Yeah.
If we just go down topics that affect us on a daily basis, right?
Facts.
Health, mental health, getting more money, finances, economic development. Some people are paying attention to these areas and succeeding, right? Because that's where they feel like the profession should be.
Word.
But a lot of people are being affected in the opposite direction because they don't know how.
True.
You know, everybody not sitting on the computer going to YouTube University trying to get money. They just still struggling every day.
Exactly.
You know, but I mean, I look at it like this. And this is just my perspective.
Mhm.
After a while, we're going to have to change our ways to be able to compete with the international perspective, because, hey, they're changing the rules these days, man. I just looked at the real estate perspective. If you ever noticed, JP Morgan, shout out to Dorinda Walker, she put this out there. JP Morgan Chase is doing mass real estate takeovers. Like, they are turning communities into like these developments where there is no middle class and there is no housing developments for low income housing.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a deep topic.
'Cause-
So could you imagine this, right? If you feel like your rent is too high, now somebody builds a structure right across the street from your house where it costs $3,000 to live, and you already know that rent costs $1,500. Now your property value goes from, now you're a landlord, you go from, hey, you get a letter in the mail, hey, look, your bill, I gotta raise the rent because across the street is going, my competitor is did this building development, and they rent now is $3,500 a month. Now the whole area goes up, from your rent goes from $1,500 to $2,500
Mm-hmm.
because he got to keep up with what's going on because of his taxes. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, I would feel some type of way. And also I would feel like now, like, since the rent and everything go up, that means the money that I'm making will have to go up even more. Because like now, like, people gotta be able to afford their rent, afford to pay the car insurance, afford to pay their say the example, they got car notes. If they have kids, they gotta make sure they're taking care of the kids, even food, because the cost of food is going up too. And
Bro,
it's
lettuce was $12.
$12. You serious?
Listen, man, I'm
Bruh.
being dead serious. Like, all right, so we looking at all of the things, not like
Sad.
all the healthy things are going up, because it's, listen, this is the, not to mention the supermarket cost of orange juice, cost of milk,
Yeah.
cost of just daily essentials every day has gone up to the point. And all of the garbage that you need to eat is cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So notice around, like, gas might be going down, but the cost of food is going up.
Exactly.
The cost of living is going up.
And they gonna want to
So
sign the bill again.
So how are you going to psychologically be ready and prepared for what's going to happen if you can't feed yourself
Exactly. Like,
in an environment? What would that look like?
that would be horrible. That's what that would look like. That would be horrible, because it's like people out here nowadays, it's like, it's like they're gonna end up doing it to where they had to bring the money back up again, to where it's gonna have to be more money that's actually gonna need to be coming in, so everybody can be able to be stable in every single way, in every single aspect. Because like everybody not able to get food stamps and all of that stuff like that. Like, and people are getting food stamps. It's not coming constantly. Or say, for example, like, if you're getting assistance and stuff like that, assistance and everything from the government, oh, soon as you start working or something like that get taken away, or something like that. It's like, yo, so many of these different things is actually happening, and it's so messed up because it's like, people going through a lot of different situations. Like, people become homeless because of things like this. People not being able to eat. People not being able to have food inside of their stomach. People not being able to put their schools into a good environment, put their kids into a good environment, because like the environment that they're actually in is crap. And it's like, you want to put your kids into another environment, but you can't even do that because like that means you have to leave out your environment and then move to somewhere else. It's like, it's a lot that's going on there. Plus, like, especially over here in Jersey is starting to get to a situation to where like they want to run as much people out as much as possible to put people over here to another population in another area. So it's like it's
crazy.
It's out of control.
So listen to this, right? NBA YoungBoy lands a talk show on Amazon Prime. It's wild, right?
Yeah.
So NBA YoungBoy. Well, listen, first of all, never broke again, right? NBA YoungBoy. I appreciate Jeff Bezos giving this young man the opportunity. You know why? Because it's setting him up for the win.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people not looking at it, right? Where everybody's going into different opportunities.
True.
Giving them opportunities to get money.
Yeah.
Giving them opportunities to be successful.
Facts.
And I think this one is one amazing grown man business move for NBA YoungBoy because of all of the trouble that he's been. What you think about that?
Yeah, I definitely think that's really, really dope that they actually giving him opportunity for that. Proud of his brother. He just actually had a new baby too. And he's actually really proud. He's actually really proud of that. He got a new child and stuff like that. He was really happy in the pictures and stuff I was seeing. He got his son already. And I think his son is already 1 or 2, and he have a newborn and stuff too. So he's really working to get his things and everything together.
Right.
He's working to do more for his family, working to try to stay out of trouble and keep himself on the right path. So shout out to him. And I wish the best for him. I know that he can actually do it. I know he can actually do it. He has a story to tell that he could tell about to the world, to encourage other young ones, like other young kids out here to stay out of the streets, be smart, do things the right way. And I feel like he don't want his son to go through the same, or his kids to go through the same life that he actually went through. What the heck is going on with this picture right here?
Hey, yo.
I'm like, what?
Listen, all right, so look, toxic behavior and abuse right now, right?
Oh my gosh.
Is Blueface an abuser, and is the girl Chrisean Rock, should they be in a relationship, yes or no? I think this is really a terrible and toxic relationship. This domestic behavior publicly, I think it's disgusting.
Because they just keep.
Listen, this is the definition of what we call Ike and Tina Turner syndrome.
And I was just seeing them up on Instagram like crazy, like crazy yesterday and stuff like that. Like, I've been seeing them like viral and like crazy talking about these two. Like, and it's like, I don't even know. They was even up there with Ron Sumo's friend, Kyle. Yeah, that shit was so funny. Like, Kyle was like, I ain't never inviting them on my show again, man, because they was doing too much. Like, yeah, hey, he ain't like what was going on. He felt some type of way and stuff too, but it's just all these things is just really, really out of control, man. It's just so much different situations. Like, see, that's the other one. That's the other thing I was talking about right there. There's so much crazy situation because it's like it's just everything. They bring so much things into this news. It's
just think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll go to this next one right here. Offset admits I'm in a dark place following Takeoff's passing, right? And he says he's struggling right now. A lot of people don't understand. Earlier this week, fellow Migos hitmaker and Takeoff's cousin Offset took his Instagram story with a request regarding to tributes to slain rapper. Don't post Takeoff unless it's positive light, please.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few days off, he said Offset shared his despair on social media and admitted he is not coping well and he's in a dark place. Last month, Offset revealed his unbearable pain of losing Takeoff in a heartfelt Instagram post. My heart is shattered and I have so many things to say, but I can't find the words. He wrote, I've been going to sleep and waking up hoping that all of this was a dream, but in reality, it's reality and it feels like a nightmare. 2 men have been charged with the connection to Takeoffs. Patrick Xavier Clark, 33 years old, has been charged with murder, and 22-year-old Cameron Joshua has been charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon and felony possession of a weapon. These crimes that we paying attention to right now, bro. I don't know about the black community, but I'm enraged as a black man.
Word, man.
You can't go to the mall. You can't go to a party. You can't go to an event. You can't hang out with your friend. You can't sit in the car. You can't be in the girl's house just chilling. You can't go to Thanksgiving dinner without an argument.
Can't do nothing.
What is going on, man? Is this situation like starting to get hard to hear? Because it's time and time and time again. That's why I think about this doing good news, because, man, look how much stuff is out here, man.
I'd rather be either by myself and 45 minutes away from all the bull crap. I'll be really be thinking about these things, because these things is just happening a little bit way too much, and everything is not, it's not getting better, man. And then it's like we got kids out here, and they're trying to raise them to this environment. Nah, man, it's like, I'm ready to pack my bags and go as far as I can. Because the fact of it is, it's like, I don't want to raise my kids up in this environment and they can't feel safe. And it's like, my daughter went through a situation when she went to school, and a boy one day, he was beefing with the gang. They came and killed him, and then his friend decided he wanted to say something to them, and they came the next day and shot him and killed him too. Come on, man, they was only 14 years old, the both of them. Exactly, yeah. And then China was in school. She heard the gunshots.
Listen, and this is
sad, bro.
There's a lot of stuff that's going on in the news, man. And this is the famous component. This is stuff that we've heard that's around, and this is the stuff that affects our community, right?
Wow.
Also, Celine Dion diagnosed with a rare neurological disorder, right? And I feel like these celebrities, they have issues too,
Yeah.
and that's why we highlighting this today, because they're human, just like us,
Of
right?
course.
If you consider yourself a celebrity and you've gone through a lot of stuff that's going on, like, most people don't understand that these people have gone through traumatic circumstances in order for them to be on the stage, and that's what they do. And usually, it's like a double entendre or a catch-22 when you see somebody that's you just happen to see on the stage. They just might have a unbelievable concentration level and to be able to sustain that pain and that threshold and be able to get to what they dreamed of doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's what a celebrity means to me.
You see Chadwick Boseman? He did the same thing. Hey, he did all of that and didn't even know this man was sick, man. I shout out to him, man, Mr. Soul, man. It's crazy because he did everything he did. He did everything he could just to make sure that his wife and everything was good before his passing, and he made sure that she was financially stable. He made sure that his family didn't try to come through and snatch the funds that was what he meant for her.
Like, they arguing over Takeoff and them over there, right?
Exactly.
Like, listen, first of all, young people, get you a will, living will, write it down, like what you want to happen. Even if it ain't with a lawyer, it's in a piece of paper, like that you write it down. I'll tell you, anybody, and just hand it, mail it to yourself, certified mail, put it in an envelope, and give it to somebody that you really trust.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It might not have to go to the lawyer. You might not have money to be able to do a living will, but write down your plans just in case something happens.
True.
Right? And these are the things that I see that we need to work on. Shout out to Stacy, came through, sit down, and Lisa. Wow, what a wonderful Lisa Ward! What a wonderful interview yesterday. We're gonna post this. I figured this is Friday, we're relaxing, man. We're gonna play a couple of good jams today, and we're gonna end off like that. It's 34 minutes after the hour. It's Friday, we're cooling, we chilling. This is just gonna be a 30-minute show today. We're gonna tune in. We got Tony Grant. We got an exclusive interview that we're gonna put together this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all be cool, enjoy the Friday, smooth out, and not to mention we're going to the premiere in Harlem, Loudmouth, I believe, with Al Sharpton today.
Let's go.
Shout out to everybody that follows Early Morning Hustle. This is Javon, Jersey J.
This is T-Bone in the building. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend, man. We'll be back later.